I'm so overwhelmed, humbled, and just honored and very thankful, that the Knicks took the chance with me, that they believed in me, and I'm so happy to be a Knick, and I can't wait to play in Madison Square Garden.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We just watched the New York Knicks draft R.J. Barrett and Ignas Brazdeikis with the number 3 and 47th pick of the 2019 NBA draft. Let's break it down, get into it a little bit, and talk about what it means for the New York Knicks. Now let's begin with R.J. Barrett. He's a small forward, 6'7", 202 pounds. In his one and only season at Duke, a freshman, and he was 18 years old because he just turned 19. He averaged 22.6 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, 4.3 assists per game, and he shot 45.4% from the field. Now, he shot 30.8% from 3 and 66.5% from the stripe. That leaves him something to work on. Now let's take a look at what RJ brings to the Knicks. First and foremost, he has great physical attributes. He has things that you can't teach. Speed, quickness, strength. He's an instinctive scorer. He's a crafty finisher around the rim. He has a high basketball IQ. And something that I really like is he's a decent on-ball defender and has the ability to get better. He also has the alpha dog mentality. He wants the ball when the game is on the line. He's not afraid to be the scapegoat. He wants to be that man, and he wants New York. Now let's talk about what he can improve. He can improve his shooting form, especially from long distance. He's left-handed. Although he claims to be right-handed, he shoots with his left. He plays primarily with his left, so he needs to work on his right hand. His ball handle is kind of high, kind of loose, so he needs to work on tightening it up. And because he has that alpha dog mentality, RJ can get caught up playing a little bit of hero ball. But you know what? He's 19 years old. He's a young kid. He can learn. Let's talk about Ignas Brazdeikis, or we can call him Iggy. The Knicks acquired Iggy with the 47th pick. You're probably wondering, well, how did the Knicks get the 47th pick? They traded the 55th pick in cash considerations to the Sacramento Kings for the 47th pick. Then they drafted Iggy. So let's take a look at the scouting report, break down his game, get into it a little bit. He's 6'7", 220 pounds, plays small forward. In one season at Michigan, he averaged 14.6 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 0.8 assists. He shot 46.2% from the field, 39.2% from 3, and 77.3% from the free throw line. He's a natural scorer, a good three-point shooter, has a really good feel for the game, but most of all, he has a fierce attitude. That's the type of thing we really need on this Knicks team. Players that have that grittiness, that attitude, that toughness. Iggy's gonna bring it. But he has some development to do. He lacks the length and the foot speed on the defensive end. So there's some concern on whether or not he's gonna be able to guard NBA small forwards. He also needs to improve his court vision and playmaking skills. He's another one of those guys that sometimes get looked over, go low in the draft. But he has the drive, the willingness, the fierce attitude to turn himself into a contributing factor on a good team. Not to mention he shoots almost 40% from the three-point line, and the Knicks will need shooters to spread the floor on this team. Scott Perry, Steve Mills, they seem to do a good job of plucking guys out of the weeds, guys that might get looked over for whatever the reasons are. Let's see if they do it again. Let's see if Iggy can find his way on this team. For the second year in a row, the Knicks have done well in the draft, and it's unusual for this team. That signifies a change in the mentality and the culture of our management team. we drafted Iggy with the 47th pick. He's a young man that I believe will have a future in the NBA because he's a hard worker and he has a chip on his shoulder. He's intense. He's determined to be successful. And then with RJ, wasn't it a beautiful thing? A beautiful thing to hear the fans cheer when his name was called. It is time. It is time. He wants New York. New York wants him. He is a foundational piece. Hopefully, he is a franchise player. His grandfather predicted it, that he was going to play for the Knicks. He is the highest draft pick the Knicks have had since Patrick Ewing. Let's get behind this kid. Both of these kids. And remember that they're young. They've got to grow. They've got to develop. Let's nurture them. Knicks fans, we did well. I give Scott Perry and Steve Mills an A for this draft. Let's do it, Knicks fans. I'm out.